You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming. So me on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Lyre. So, oh boy, this is like it's gonna be a big episode, y'all. Let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. Leaf takes a step back, but then speaks, his voice quiet. I know more about what's going on than you understand. I've been by your side constantly throughout this entire tragedy. Adrius disregards him, turning around to leave, but Leaf continues. And it wasn't you who appointed me as a royal physician. It was your father. I need to remind you why. The deer stops at the door and stands there for a moment. After a few seconds pass, he sighs and turns around. I am not in need of a reminder. I truly do value you and your wisdom, Leif. Just don't get under my fur about this situation again. Leaf tilts his head to the side in a ponderous manner as if showing agreement. Very well. Now, let's go see what Liz wants. Is she doing better? Adrius opens the door and holds it for the small bird as he tentatively walks through. Thank you, and no, not really. I have a lot of things to say about Adrius, and I'll probably say them at the end of this particular game. So, anyway. Leif scuttles ahead of Adrius to the chamber door and pulls it open, holding it for him. Adrius strides through, and as he enters, his eyes adjust to the dim candlelit room. Candles are lit throughout the room, and letters and books clutter the table. On the other side of the room, at the end of the table, Liz stands over an old, large book, among several other pieces of parchment and scrolls. She looks tired, her hair tied back messily and her eyes bloodshot. She also looks visibly drunk. In front of her on the table sits a chalice full of wine, along with a couple of empty bottles. She stands up from her chair, scowl upon her face as Adrius enters the room. Dear God, have you even slept? Leif quietly follows behind him, closing the door and standing by it. Letters. She picks up a scroll and throws it across the table. Adrius leans over and catches it before it lands on the table. From who? Dryzs. Adrius' fingers tense around the paper as he unrolls it carefully. Holding it up to a candle, he reads it to himself. My sons and I offer you our sincere condolences for the murder of your father. King Raynar will hold a special place in all of our hearts. We pray for the prosperity of your kingdom and wish you good health. Aaron Starfall. I can already see you're mad. Reasonably so. King Aaron only wants to touch on the subject of a death in the family as a form of risk management. Adrius crumples up the letter and throws it to the side. That's important, Adrius. Relax, it's not even his handwriting. I've helped Father answer and send letters for the last 3 years. After the accident, his hands never quite recovered. Liz slumps back into her chair, pinching the bridge of her nose. Leif goes over to her side, placing his wing on her hand. Anything else of importance? Liz sits up in her chair slightly, reaching for a letter on the table. You know me, I saved the best for last. A letter from the judge of Home's End. She clears her throat and reads out what's written down on the piece of parchment. We have had numerous attacks from the southern sides of the canyons. Several villages and settlements south of Home's End have been bombarded with raids. Halfton is in ruin. I urge you to make contact with the King of Dryzs in order to formulate a solution. She rolls up the letter and tosses it back onto the table, taking a sip from her chalice. Adrius leans on the table, anger burning deep inside of him. With each word she spoke, his rage festered. Call upon the royal army. Have them march on the canyons and kill every single bandit, criminal, and barbarian. Adrius, come winter's end, I want that entire nest wiped out. Man, woman, and child, I won't rest until that stain is wiped from the map. We can't do that! Oh. Nice, they get their own CG. Without Dryz's cooperation, we can't march on their lands. Your father knew this, and I'm completely certain you know it. I don't care if you don't agree with it, you know this is the right choice. Leif picks up the letter and reads it over, clearly nervous about what's happening. Crossing their border will do more damage than what's already been done. No! They have lost complete control over that part of their territory. No matter how many troops they send in to clear out the main road, the heart of the problem will always continue to grow. They focus so much of their manpower toward building and cultivating the size of their kingdom, they let others drown in the problems they breed while continuing to rise above those beneath them. Dryzs uses faith as a tool of deception and a beacon for those around them, yet they're fully content with letting everyone be consumed by the blood-stained sands. Listen to me! She slaps her hand on the table in exasperation. It won't work out the way you want it to. Leif clears his throat. She's right, Your Majesty. Going about these problems in a careful manner is the best solution. We cannot afford to cause one predicament while trying to solve another. Liz sighs and looks back up at Adrius from across the table. This is the first time Adrius has seen her lose her temper in a while. Adrius, you have to stop making these rash decisions. I feel as if I am the only one who's making any decisions. Dryzs would let evil gestate within the very blood-stained sands of their kingdom rather than commit to anything. For once, please trust that I have this kingdom's best interests at heart. I admire your resolve, but we need time to figure things out. Fine! Adrius shouts this at her, and she jumps slightly, Leif more so. He sits down in the chair behind him and steadies his breathing. A headache begins to develop, but he rubs the side of his head with his fingers, keeping it at bay for the time being. How soon can we send soldiers to take control of the area? I want the villages closest to the canyons to be well guarded in case of any future attacks. It would take days to even deliver the order to our garrison south of Flinthaven. Not only that, but from there the journey south would take a week at least, given the supplies needed to set up camp. Have them garrison in the towns, then. I don't care how it's done. Just make sure Home's End has decent protection against these southern invaders. I'll have the order drawn up immediately. Liz rises from her chair with the help of Leif and leaves for the door. Leif, be a dear and have a cartographer brought to my room. Certainly. Adrius holds up his hand as she stops before rounding the table. I did not dismiss you. She rests her hands on the table, glowering at him. Let it be known that I've always had this kingdom's best interest at heart. I'm sure you do. But did it ever occur to you that you don't know everything? Elizabeth! No, Leif, let her continue. In the privacy of these chambers, I won't shrink from criticism. As a figurehead, I can't be questioned, but as a king? Adrius sits up in his chair, resting his hand underneath his chin. Go on, Liz. I want you to be honest with me. Your Majesty, she's intoxicated. She doesn't mean... I'm fine, Leif. She mutters this in his direction while gritting her teeth, and he steps back. We've received no word from Aaron on the subject of Lord Leuven. None. If we had kept him as a hostage, then we might have been on better track towards clarity, but here we stand. No Irinian lord. No answers. She takes in a deep breath and exhales, the hysterical expression appearing on her face. Not only have we lost Lord Leuven, but Lyle has run off with him, and only God knows where. Lyle Reed. I understand your constant ill-treatment of him would lead you to forget this, but he is the only son of Lord Marcus Reed. They're a small house now, but still one of the oldest and most powerful aside from your own. And I've just had to send his Lord Father a letter telling him that his son has committed murder, treason, and has run away with the man known for killing the king. And this is somehow my fault? In small part, yes. Sending Leuven to his death like that was never going to work out. It was a dramatic display at best, and now we have to deal with it. I needed to use him as an example. Letting him escape was never my intention. Old traditions be damned, his execution was a game for you. Toying with a man's life like that. I voted him innocent for a reason. And why did you vote him innocent? What? I've been wondering for days. Adrius leans back in his chair, a scowl growing on his face. Liz gives him no answer and he sighs. I'll ask again some other time. Is that everything? For now. I will think about what you've said. However, I know your mission in Dryzs was somewhat successful, but it's clear that our situation with Dryzs has become far worse. I will be taking action if things proceed down this path. Silence falls over the room aside from the sound of Leif nervously shuffling in the corner of the room. Go and rest, Liz. We'll speak more on this later. Liz takes a book off the table along with a few scrolls and briskly walks to the door. She rests her free hand on the door handle and turns to Adrius. Adrius, what? I'm on your side, whether you want to believe it or not. And I truly do care for you. He shuffles in his seat and turns, looking at her. I know. That's what I like about you. your unwavering allegiance. Rest well. She opens the door and steps through the doorway, the sound of her shoes tapping against the floor as she walks off. The door closes by itself with a soft thud, echoing throughout the room. Leif. Yes, Your Majesty. Adrius rubs the spot where his antlers should be. I feel a headache coming on. Cancel the appointments I have later. Of course, Your Majesty. Would you like some medicine for the pain? Very much, yes. Adrius rises from his seat and picks up the crumpled letter from Dryzs. After standing, the pain becomes more apparent. He slowly makes his way to the door, which Leif graciously opens for him. Once he steps through the doorway, an odd feeling washes over him. It's a feeling similar to how one would feel after waking up from drinking too much the night before. Waking up to an unfamiliar surrounding, or somewhere you shouldn't be. Where did... He turns to Leif, who has a puzzled gaze behind his mask. I'll be in my room if needed. Leuven. Alright. Oh, hello there. Alverton. I'm thankful, truly I am, but this wasn't supposed to happen. Why would you do this? You didn't have to. I could have... I did it for you, Al. Because I love you. Huh. I suppose even a god would find it hard to love and be wise all at once. Leuven. You're safe, for now. You must go to the Temple of Hyetta. It is south of the Dryzian canyons. Here, you will complete your training. We will speak again soon. Take care. Rolling over, my eyes struggle to stay open, but my mind is wide awake. When all my body wants to do is go back to sleep, my surroundings become apparent, my curiosity takes over. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's some good stuff. Oh, man. The smell of burning wood wafts over my face, along with the cool winter breeze. My body feels warm, but the bedroll I'm enveloped in is cool to the touch. The fur my head lays against is warm, however. I sit up enough so that my vision does not only consist of the cliffside I am under and look around. All around me are trees covered in a thin layer of snow. Despite the frost shrouding everything, flowers bloom and nature thrives. There's a small campfire next to the bedroll I'm in, with a pot of water hanging above it, softly boiling. Where am I? And where's Lyre? Slowly sitting up, my mind is still able to hold on to the visions that have run through my mind for who knows how long. Recalling them is not as easy, but the knowledge of what I've seen is still there. Tigran. I go into the mind's eye and look around. It feels empty here, even considering the absence of Tigran. Tigran! I shout into the chasm, but get no reply. They said we would speak again soon, but I assume I won't be seeing them for a while. The Temple of Hyetta. I've never even heard of such a place. They'd better come back soon, because I don't even know where to start with this. Not only that, but where the hell was I? I come back to the small camp where I'm laying down. Sitting up, I toss the upper corner of the bedroll to the side and look around, trying to gain a better understanding of my surroundings. A horse who feels familiar stands close by, hitched onto a tree with a fur blanket draped over them. After remembering where I am and what's happened, I realize that this is the horse Lyre was riding. There's a water skin laying at my feet, and I reach for it, popping the cork. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Teresum Guy. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!